The Dakota Indians have an interesting statement. If you're riding a dead horse, dismount. Sometimes it's hard to realize that we're riding a dead horse. We keep pouring our resources into it. We might be putting good money into bad money, or things aren't working out in the relationship. You got to think through this and consider deeply before you give up on anybody. But Jesus did say, when you realize that you're casting pearls before swine, it's time to stop. And that's a difficult thing to understand because sometimes we invest so much of our lives into bad things that just don't work out. It's hard to give up on something, and I'm usually opposed 99.9% on giving up on anything. But there is a time when you got to think about it, that if you're riding a dead horse, it's time to get off and you got to cut your losses. Now, this is exactly what Paul was saying in Philippians chapter 3 and verse 7. Now, if you were to read the entire chapter, you would find out that Paul had obtained some tremendous things. I mean, he was a Hebrew of Hebrews, a Pharisee of Pharisees. He was exceedingly going above all the others. He was just advancing at an accelerated rate. But all the things that he obtained and that meant so much to him when he realized that Jesus was the Christ and the Son of God, notice what he said in verse number 7. But what things were gained to me, and boy, there was a lot: vocation, career, success. You just put anything in there that you want to. But again, he said, these things that were gained to me, those things I counted loss for Christ. And then he'll go on to say in about verse 13, brethren, it's not that I myself have been apprehended, but one thing I do is forgetting those things that were in the past. Now, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to understand that when you're riding a dead horse, it's time to get off. When you're investing your life and your resources in something that's not paying off, it's hard to make that decision, isn't it? But I want to just suggest this to you, and then I'll let you go today. If you're not living for Christ, I don't care what accolades or achievements or what you've accomplished in life, you got to think through that a little bit, don't you? Because you want to invest something that really means something. And so if you're riding a dead horse, and I don't know what that might be, but it might be time to get off, cut your losses, and invest your life and your resources in something that just really matters. Something to think about, isn't it? See you next week.